Also,
no, more about gel coat.
When the fourth...
Don't you call in the... More importantly...
Hello world, hear the song that we're singing. Come on, get happy.
Welcome back. It's another month. It's another TV Talkaholics. Here we are, September 2022. Hello, beloved Tutti Fruities. This is David, and Matthew is also on the horn with me.
Hello, David. Or should I give you, I should give you the energy level of the Partridge family.
Okay, please do.
Hello, David.
Oh, this month we have hit upon such a Lulu of a show, and I cannot contain, Matthew, how fucking excited I am to talk about the Partridge family and this wonderful episode where Charlotte Rae was the guest. And I want to get to it. I'm so fucking excited. I kind of threw this at you via text. I was like, oh my God, I found this, and sent you the text. And I just went, this is too perfect. We have to do it, period. So I do not have any type of a gauge as far as, I don't know if we've ever talked about the show. Was this a big show for you growing up?
David, we always remember our first time, don't we? And I'm happy to say that you popped my Partridge cherry.
What?
I had never sat through an episode, and thanks to you, I never want to sit through another one.
Oh no, my God. I shouldn't say, oh no, I should say, oh yes, I am so happy to have introduced this to you.
How was this popular?
We can talk about it. We
All
can talk.
right.
There's a lot going on here, much going on. So let's jump right on in. This is season 3, episode 6 of The Partridge Family, You're Only Young Twice, which had an original air date of October 20th, 1972. The Partridge Family series itself ran from 1970 to 1974.
How?
I will tell you how. It was on after the Brady Bunch. It was kind of the OG Friday night family block before TGIF was a thing on ABC. This was what CBS was doing. Brady Bunch had premiered the year before in 1969. And then this came along and was the perfect companion to it. And
wait, it was on CBS?
Yes.
I thought the Brady Bunch was on ABC.
No, sir. You
sure?
have to look it up and verify me?
Yep.
Are you Googling something, questioning what I'm telling? How dare you, sir?
And the only reason I say that is because I have a Brady Bunch album. And in it, they have a demo where they say, catch us on the Do Re Mi episode on ABC TV.
Oh, God, now you do have me doubting myself. I thought it was CBS.
On ABC. Suck my Partridge, David.
It was ABC?
ABC.
Okay, wow. So this was truly the OG TGI Friday. Because the well-known later TGI Friday in the 90s with Step by Step and Perfect Strangers and all that, that was ABC, correct? I don't even know. I don't dare state anything based on my knowledge anymore.
I'm just interested if that will stay in the show. I'm just wondering if that part's going to end up on the cutting room floor.
Well, okay, you've already, you got it. Because here's the funny thing, Matthew, one thing it did not occur to me to do in all the stuff I do to prepare, I forgot to look up October 20th, 1972 to see what else was on the telly.
Well, we'll have to suffer and know that nothing was on if you were watching this.
Oh my God. But the reason why I am just so excited about this, I have to contextualize and personalize this.
You
I was
have to make this about you. Okay, go ahead.
correct. Yeah.
Yep. Got it.
Born in 68. So when this premiered, I was 2,
Oh.
but I had a sister who was 3 years older. She was 5. So between the ages of 5 and 9, for her, and then me by extension, this lineup of the Brady Bunch and then the Partridge Family, it was the biggest deal in our house. She was obsessed with David Cassidy. She had all the posters, all the Tiger Beats. I think she had the lunchbox. His music was always playing in our house in my formative toddler years. And, as a younger brother, I was into what my sister was into. So it was therefore, by extension, a big thing for me. And interestingly, in the reruns, I did gravitate back towards the Brady Bunch. I know the Brady Bunch very, very well as a series. This is not a show that I know well or that I watched a lot of in reruns. I didn't even remember Charlotte Rae was on this.
Well, the Brady Bunch, I feel like, had a much more broad syndication level. Like, it played on like TBS. It played on like it was on like Fort Wayne's channel, like we had 55 WFTV 55, and that was like one of those like local channels. Like, it became the Fox affiliate. You know what I mean? So I feel like Brady Bunch had a much more broad syndication than the Partridge Family. And I mean, from this one episode, I can see why.
So you didn't enjoy this. Well.
It was weird, David. Like, it was just, there were so many weird things about it.
Wasn't it? Yeah.
I couldn't even take notes. I have no notes up on my screen because I was just like, what? Who? Where? Why? The director? Sound engineer? Who? I mean, okay, finish your nuts and bolts, because I have one big question about this that
Okay.
I need answered.
Okay. Well, we're going to do this kind of office lady style. I've got a lot of fast facts. This is literally the lazy man's research of, I looked at 2 websites that no one has ever referred to, Wikipedia and IMDb.
Okay.
But the series was loosely based on the real-life musical family called the Cowslips. What the fuck is that? What's that for a name?
Can you imagine? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Cowslips.
But they were famous. They were a singing family, and they considered using them, but just none of them had any acting experience.
And yet, here we are. Okay. I loved reading that was an excuse for not using them when we had the people in the show that were in the show. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. This takes place, I did not know this. It takes place in the fictitious town of San Pueblo, California, which is allegedly 40 miles from Napa Valley.
Yes, but this is not according to the unaired pilot that took place in Ohio.
Correct.
I would love to see that unaired pilot.
Okay, so let's talk about this unaired pilot thing, because that is also one of my fast facts. According to this, the unaired pilot, Shirley is named Connie. She has a boyfriend played by her real-life husband at the time, Jack Cassidy.
Yes.
And like you said, they're from Ohio. They're not from California. So it's a bigger journey they've made to their fame and fortune. So I'm just like, okay, I'm not doubting that exists. I'm just questioning, where does that fall in the timetable? Because I have verified from multiple sources, including Shirley Jones and David Cassidy, in interviews that you can find on YouTube, where Shirley Jones was cast in the show. So they were developing it and she got it. David Cassidy was her stepson. She had raised him, but he was 19 at this point. He wasn't living at home. He was out doing his own thing and making a living as an actor. And according to him, he read for this TV show to play some role of the teenage son And he had done 5 different auditions. And the 5th one was the screen test, like down to him and one other guy. And it was now to see how he played with the other people who were going to be likely cast in the show. He showed up to that soundstage for his screen test, and Shirley Jones was there. And he's like, well, hi, what are you doing here? And she already knew he was going to be there. They did clear it through her. But she's like, I'm going to be playing your mother again. And he said, should we tell them? And she was like, no, let's not. That's according to him. According to her, they already knew, and she already knew and had cleared it through him. But where in the timetable of this, David Cassidy not knowing about this pilot or this role when both his stepmother and his dad are, it's like, it's not even in the trades. He didn't even read somewhere that, I just think it's weird.
Well, David Cassidy drank a lot. I mean,
he did.
He did drink himself to death, if we're being honest.
Very true. Yep, I saw that too.
So, I mean,
But-
it could be one of those things. Like, I mean, I don't know how much I believe that Elaine Stritch was actually auditioned for the Golden Girls. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, yeah.
Are these slightly show business stories or
revisionist history? Yeah.
it does make a better story for David Cassidy to be like, I had no idea my mother was going to be my mother.
Yeah.
So-
Oh no, I hear it. I totally hear that. So for those who've been living under a rock and are like, I still don't know what in the world this show is that they've been talking about. The Partridge Family is a family show about a musical family that also acts as a band. And the episodes often contrast suburban life with the adventures of the family on the road. After the first season, more of the show's action takes place in the family's hometown than on tour. And not unlike the Monkees, this was a completely fabricated musical entity where they had songwriters and good songwriters, well-known songwriters, and the Wrecking Crew playing the instruments and studio singers. And in the pilot, David Cassidy's voice is dubbed because they had already hired a singer because they didn't know that the actor they hired also happened to play guitar and sing. So for that reason, they became not just a popular TV show. And Matthew, I think the answer to your earlier question is that they were also on the radio. It was a synergy tie-in thing where, well, we listen to the music, we watch the TV show. And see on the show, is it going to be a song that we recognize that they're going to play, or is it going to be something new that hasn't come out yet?
Well, and this came out, and you talked about how the Brady Bunch was the lead-in. After the success of this, they tried to turn the Bradys into a fucking singing group.
Yes,
So
they did.
I get it, but at least the Bradys did their own singing, for God's sake.
Yeah.
And
And
for better or worse. I mean,
yeah, exactly. Some would argue for worse. But yeah. So the whole big thing with this was not only were they a TV show, not only were they in our living room, but the fictional family that were singing the very real hit songs were kind of a sensation. We had the teen idol status of David Cassidy and Susan Day. Shirley Jones was an Academy Award winner and had been a big movie star previous to this. So having her on the show was kind of a get. This was sort of the early days of saying like a Fred McMurray or somebody who was already established on film deciding to slum it and do television. But thank God she did, man. Talk about
she's the only redeeming thing in this entire show.
Mhm.
She's just delightful. She's beautiful, first of all.
Gorgeous.
Just great feet. God, just fucking features like nobody's business. Her eyes are amazing. And we know she's a singer and she's just so natural. It makes it almost ruins the rest of the show because she's so normal and natural in her acting, and everybody else is on a different, like, oh, where was the director? Oh.
Yeah. Nope, you're right. You are not wrong. So as a fake musical group, they released 8 albums between 1970 and 1970, I guess 74. Yeah, they had a lot. The Billboard charts, get this. Their first album was called the Partridge Family album. The album was number 4. Next album, Up to Date, number 3. Sound Magazine, number 9. Partridge Family Christmas Card, which came out in 71, number 1.
Jesus.
Shopping Bag was 18. That's the first time we get into double digits here.
And did these albums, like, did they sell with like Susan Day on the cover, like the actors from the show?
Yeah, absolutely. With pictures of the
that
actors.
were not on them. Just like Marnie Nixon, her album of My Fair Lady has Audrey Hepburn.
Correct. Yeah.
Cover of it.
Yeah. They're just the figurehead, but then inside it says,
What were these people paid? I've gotta know.
All of the artists were credited in all that. And it probably just says the Partridge Family are Shirley Jones, David Cassidy, Susan Day. Watch them Friday nights on ABC. But yeah, no, their picture absolutely is on the cover of all of these albums. Partridge Family Notebook was number 41. And then Crossword Puzzle was 167. So we see a peak and a very strong diminishing rate of returns. And I cut and pasted, and I missed the information. Bulletin Board was the last one they did. And I don't have the stats on that, but it wasn't good. So, yeah. The series was created by Bernard Slade. He was a Canadian playwright and screenwriter. He wrote The Flying Nun. He consulted on The Courtship of Eddie's Father. And he also wrote the play Same Time Next Year, and also the play Romantic Comedy. And he wrote the film adaptations.
Same Time Next Year. That's one of those plays that they'll do at like the Poinciana Playhouse with Loretta Swit and Hal Linden.
So true.
It's like love letters.
Yep. And he wrote a sequel. He wrote a sequel to it too, Same Time Another Year, which is like the next series of decades where they're elderly and stuff. It's something. That one I've only ever seen produced at the Mark II Dinner Theater in Orlando, believe it or not.
And people wondered why that theater closed.
Yeah. And you know who starred in it?
Oh, God.
Bill Hayes and Susan Seaforth Hayes, who were both on Days of Our Lives. They were both soap stars of yesteryear.
Got to get the butts in the seats.
So continuing with sort of the arc of the show, of the series as a whole, this is from IMDb. The show proved popular, but the fame took its toll on several, if not most, of the starring cast, particularly David Cassidy. In the midst of his rise to fame, Cassidy soon felt stifled by the show and trapped by the mass hysteria surrounding his every move. In May 1972, he appeared nude on the cover of Rolling Stone magazine.
Yeah, he did.
In a cropped Annie Leibovitz photo.
Yeah, he did.
He used the article to get away from his squeaky clean image. The article mentioned that Cassidy was riding around New York in the back of a car, quote, stoned and drunk, end quote.
David, are you just reading the Wikipedia page to our listeners?
I'm reading this little, I thought this anecdote was nice and concise, and I couldn't say it any better. But inside the magazine, like the nude cover was one thing, but inside the centerfold, as it were, that's the pube shot, ladies and gentlemen. If you have not seen the David Cassidy picture where he is stripped down and it's cropped right below the fun zone, it's like, well, yeah, it wasn't just the hair on their head they were wearing long back in the 70s, apparently.
I believe the original release of it was a scratch and sniff. But they learned from their mistake, because they did that with that picture of Yoko Ono and John Lennon.
Oh,
that was scratch and sniff, and it smelled like patchouli and balls. Which isn't as good a combination as I'm making it sound.
But I remember reading or hearing in interviews that David Cassidy's thing was that he did play guitar. He was musical. His dad was Jack Cassidy, big Broadway star, Tony Award winner, and all that. And he's like, yeah, I did want to be a pop star. I wanted to be Jimi Hendrix. I didn't want to be 1960s cheesy Elvis.
But you are, Blanche. You are.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a white kid from an, let's say, upper middle class family. Okay.
Very privileged Hollywood royalty, you could argue.
Yeah. Oh, poor thing.
Yeah.
You wanted to be Jimi Hendrix. Oh, well, I'm sorry.
You didn't get insanely famous the way you wanted to get insanely famous.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Oh, poor guy.
Yeah. And by all accounts, like his memoir and you see in interviews and stuff, he's not all that circumspect about it. He's kind of been recorded as being a little bit arrogant and a dick and entitled, and he's not like Adam West, where Adam West became famous doing one thing. He was in on the joke and he said, I am playing this joke and I'm always going to be winking at the audience. And Adam West did that till the day he died. And I believe Adam West died an infinitely happier man than David Cassidy did.
Yeah. David Cassidy, he didn't have the greatest life towards the end there.
No. He was faking that he had dementia when he was forgetting lyrics to songs in concert. He was faking dementia when in fact it was just his alcoholism had just gotten so out of control. And, David Cassidy died in 2017 at age 67 of liver and kidney failure.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a person that loves the drink. And, their debut single, I Think I Love You, was #1 hit.
I think I love you. So what am I so afraid of? Oh.
You're singing it like Starship? Is that what it is?
You're welcome. I'm singing it like the cow slits would have.
No, Sills, cow Sills.
Beverly Sills would have.
That's what she said, yes. Well, how would Judy Garland have sung?
I think I love you. So what am I so afraid of? Oh, this thing I am not sure of.
She would have been awesome singing that. Jeez. Wow. And another one they did, Breaking Up Is Hard to Do. That was another big hit for them. That was a cover of a Neil Sedaka hit already. But yeah, so many hits, and I still love them. And to me, the thing that stands out about them is whoever produced their music, they clearly said, okay, this is right now in a weird time where it's, where it's not the 60s anymore and all the psychedelic shit is not quite in fashion. And we're at the dawn of the singer songwriter, like your Carly Simons and your Janice Ians. So kind of what was bubblegum pop? What was family friendly pop supposed to sound like in 1972? And they were all sitting around a table and they looked at each other and said, are you thinking what I'm thinking? And the others all said, yep. Harpsichord. And that is kind of the thing that is the through line of all of their music is the harpsichord sound, which is fucking weird. And yet it works.
Well, it was before the time of needing more cowbell. There was somebody in that recording studio going, I need more harpsichord.
Yeah.
Give me more harpsichord.
I got a fever, and the only prescription is more harpsichord. Oh, bless. They had to replace Chris after the first season.
Because he was a dick, apparently.
How a 6-year-old kid
had personality complex.
It was hated by everybody in the cast and everyone on set. It's like, what kind of a little fucker were you, Jeremy Gelbwax?
I'd like to talk to him.
Gelbwax, Gelbwaks. I'm sorry. With that name, you are not allowed in fucking show business.
Yeah, you need to fire your agent.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry. Charlotte Lubotsky had to change her name to Charlotte Ray, but Jeremy Gelbwax, for fuck's sake. Anyway, he was replaced with a better named Brian Forster. And yeah, they also had a dog in the first season, just like Tiger. They were like, okay, having a dog around, it's a pain in the ass. Lose the dog. Done.
Oh, I just love like these things that we laugh at now are the kind of things that you're having a fit over with the show Bible of the facts of life. But when we talk about they got rid of the dog halfway
Yeah,
through.
there was a dog and they got rid of it. Well, yeah.
But we don't see over our heads in an episode, and you're like losing your mind.
Goddamn
Who
right.
is minding the store?
I got priorities.
Yeah.
That's all I can
Where's
say.
the dog?
Do you know what the dog's name was on the Partridge Family?
Was the dog's name Gwell Blacks or whatever?
Yeah. Yeah. Hence they got rid of him, the kid, and the dog. Both of you. No Gel Blacks is on this fucking set. It was
they
Simone.
took all their aggression out on that dog.
Oh, bless. So then at the beginning of the fourth season, 4-year-old neighbor Ricky Stevens, played by Ricky Siegel, was featured and would sing a children's song during most episodes, but the character was dropped mid-season.
The cousin Oliver
Ding, 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 ding.
of the Partridge Family.
Exactly. And this kid was adorable. He was adorable. But that whole thing of, oh God, our quote unquote young kids, they're about to turn 8, you know, they're getting a little long in the tooth. It can't be a family show if we don't have a little kid. And I just don't understand. I don't understand.
I need to take a look at season 4 because I can't imagine it being much worse than what we witnessed, but okay.
So this played Fridays at 8:30 after the Brady Bunch, like I said.
On ABC.
On ABC, you were right.
Yep.
The final season, though, they moved it to Saturday at 8 p.m. Opposite All in the Family.
Yeah.
In 1974.
And you have to wonder if like they were sitting around the table and they announced that to the cast and somebody with enough show business knowledge like Shirley Jones was like, well, this was fun while it lasted.
Yeah, bye-bye now.
So this is our last season, everybody? Okay. Thank
Yeah.
you, ABC, for killing this show.
Yeah, Saturday night was where shows went to die because you could not compete with All in the Family, Mary Tyler Moore. It was Saturdays were dominated by CBS. Hence, Partridge Family could not be a CBS show. But in those 4 seasons, Matthew, they were able to produce 96 episodes, a perfectly legitimate and acceptable amount of episodes for syndication. And it was syndicated, but like you said, it just somehow didn't quite, on the second viewing, it didn't have quite as much charm as the Brady Bunch had. So continuing with the nuts and bolts, this episode in particular, You're Only Young Twice, it was written by Susan Silver. She wrote for Love American Style, Maude. She wrote 5 episodes of The Mary Tyler Moore Show. She had already written 1 episode of The Partridge Family. She would go on to write for The Bob Newhart Show. And she would also produce Square Pegs later. And the episode was directed by Lee Phillips. This is his first of 2 episodes of The Partridge Family. He has 72 credits in a 32-year career as a director. As an actor, he has 54 credits in a 23-year career, tons of roles, tons of TV shows that he directed. He was in the 1957 movie melodrama Peyton Place. He was one of the actors in that. I've got to say, for you talking about the quality of the show, did you look on YouTube? There are a couple of amazing spoofs of it.
Of this episode?
Of the Partridge Family.
Oh,
There's an episode of the rerun show where they do it.
Yeah.
And Danny Bonaducci plays Danny.
And Paul Vogt plays Shirley Jones, doesn't he?
No,
doesn't he?
He's Chris. He's Chris. And the girl and the guy that played Joe in the Facts of Life spoof on the rerun show, it plays Tracy. And they, you know, Paul Vogt is so good at bad non-acting when he turns that on. He's just like, hey, Keith, why did you go to the store? And just, I mean, Ugh. And then when they're doing them playing the instruments, they're like their hands aren't even touching the keyboards. They're faking the instruments so terribly. So I recommend that. And I tried to find it. I didn't see, but I didn't look that hard. When Susan Day was on Saturday Night Live, they did a hilarious Partridge Family spoof where all the Brady kids come in. So it was kind of a big, well-known, memorable sketch that they did there. Again, Susan Day doing Lori Partridge in like 1994.
And once again, David, the Partridge Family rerun show. Paul Vogt plays Shirley Partridge.
Then they must have done it more than once, because
so you must be right.
Well, no, this isn't informational. This is I watched it. I actually watched it. Wait a minute, let me find it.
Okay, there are 2 episodes.
There you go. Okay, so he does
yeah.
play Shirley in one. I want to see that. I didn't see that on YouTube.
I typed in rerun show Partridge Family, and it's the first one.
Okay, that's the one. And Tracy doesn't even have any lines. She just like spastically slaps the tambourine off the beat.
Well, so they got the original actress?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. General thoughts about the series. As I've said, it was so important growing up. This is one of those shows that was so prevalent and present and ubiquitous in our home where I was raised. This show has such a near and dear place in my heart. And like most of those shows, you watch it as an adult and it is just unwatchable. It's terrible. I do recall watching some episodes, Matthew, and this episode contradicts the opinion I'm about to state. I had always been of the belief that Shirley Jones was just a little bit extended and just a little couple of ticks too big on the screen when she played Shirley Partridge. And I don't remember what I'm basing that on or what I had seen, but I will say, watching this episode, I was like, oh, well, she's awesome. She is fan-fucking-tastic here. I don't know where that other thing came from, other than at the end of the episode when they're doing the song. Arguably, she is one of the worst. Insofar as who, like you say, director was there a director who said, if you're standing there playing the piano, your shoulders are not going up and down. You hear, is the sound different on my microphone because I'm bopping up and down? But the amount of physical bopping that she does in her close-ups and how she oversells the I'm losing you. I mean, it's like, girl, you are an actual singer. You know you don't have to open your mouth that widely to produce a sound.
Well, and especially somebody who made her career with movie musicals where she spent her life lip syncing to herself.
Hello?
On movie sets. So yeah, that is interesting. But I can't put my finger on if she was the tick too much or if her and the kids were just on different every kid was on a different level and she was on a different level and it none of it worked together. And so that was I don't know how to fix it. I just know that everybody was uneven. Like
I feel like David Cassidy and Susan Day were doing a good job.
I thought they were both on Quaaludes, for God's sake. Like, I was like, that poor sound guy, because Keith Partridge's lines
were delivered like this. So what's up, Mom? What's gonna happen with Danny? Okay. He's gonna go out on a double date with us. Okay.
And then what's her pussy? Susan Day, La over here. Didn't she go on to do LA Law in that Susan Day?
Yes, correct.
Okay. So Susan Day over here is like, would you like to see what I got at the store? Okay. And they go upstairs and I was just
I'm not saying you're wrong, but I don't think they were. So I think there was some chemistry there between Shirley, Keith, and Lori. And Danny Bonaducci, he was a funny kid. He had great comic timing. When
He
they
was-
gave him a
it
joke
was-
that was worth anything.
Okay. I'm gonna. Oh, I don't know if I should say this, David.
Say it.
He's so hideous to look at
Oh, bugger.
that it's uncomfortable. Like yes, he's funny. He delivered his lines. He knew the assignment, but he's so uncomfortable to look at for me. Like that weird hair, that gross hair that looked like it hadn't been washed in a week. So I was like, he looks greasy. He looks dirty. But I think, I watched the Brady Bunch and I'm like, girl, you all need to wash your hair. Like they all look like they just haven't showered in a couple days. But I just, he was so uncomfortable to watch because it's like watching Danny DeVito. He's uncomfortable to watch because of how he's built. Not because he's short, but because he's all arms and he's gangly. He's like him and Bette Midler are built the same. They've got these gangly arms. And it fascinates me because I was watching him. It's like watching a stunted adult that I don't know.
Okay. No, I can see that. This isn't part of your assertion that gingers have no soul.
I figured that went without saying.
Okay. I'm sorry. Maybe I shouldn't have said it then. But anyway, I get it. I totally kind of see where you're coming from.
And I don't hate Danny Bonaducci. I don't care. It was just how I was like uncomfortable watching it. I'm like uncomfortable watching him.
Yeah.
Like Gabe Kaplan for me. I'm uncomfortable watching him because he's so gross.
Yeah.
And I've said it before. I'll say it again. It's nothing against how he looks or anything like that. It's for me, he's uncomfortable to watch. Like studio execs told Judy Garland, she was uncomfortable to watch for people. And they don't want you in their house, Judy. So this is why we're canceling your show. That's when she called Jack Kennedy and said, would you be comfortable having me in your house in front of the studio execs? But anyway, that's an old story. But he is a puke. That is my word for it. I've used it before. He's just a puke.
And the costuming is not helping. To see any person that you're not comfortable watching dressed in full tilt 1972 beyond fucking fugly ass shitty awful polyester mismatched colors mismatched seasons. I mean, just terrible awful fashion of the era combined with terrible awful costuming of a TV show.
I just was anybody comfortable in the 70s? I watch a lot of the old early 80s Price is Right. And I see these outfits and I'm like, was like the 70s, this show, everybody's shirts look so tight in the armpits. And if there's one thing I hate, it's a tight in the armpit shirt. I'm like, nope, get it off me. I can't handle that. But everybody's tight in the armpits. Everybody's got shoes on that just look horribly uncomfortable. And like you said, polyester, for God's sake.
And not a pair of blue jeans in sight that I recall. All of the kids are either in corduroys or chino pants. It's like in 1972, a family of 5 kids, not a single goddamn one of them is wearing a pair of denim blue jeans. What the fuck is that?
They had all that showbiz money.
Oh, man.
Showbiz people don't wear blue jeans.
Well, we've been talking about the cast. I've got some more notes about them. Let's kind of run through all this and continue this. So back to top of the heap. Shirley Jones, of course, she was in Oklahoma, Carousel, The Music Man. She was a classically trained soprano.
How many times did Shirley Jones say, who else has an Oscar on set? Oh,
yeah, thank you.
She does have an Oscar, doesn't she?
Uh-huh. She won in 1960 for Elmer Gantry, Best Supporting Actress, for her role as a vengeful prostitute against a confidence man and his female evangelist girlfriend selling religion to small-town America. Starring Burt Lancaster, Gene Simmons, this was Best Supporting Actress the year before. Rita Moreno won it for West Side Story.
And this was before Kiss for Gene Simmons. So
Correct. At the time of this, she is currently married to Jack Cassidy, whom she married in 1956. She would eventually divorce him in 1975. Speaking of gentlemen who love the drink, speaking of David Cassidy, wherever does he get it from? But David Cassidy, as we said before, is her stepson. His mother is actress Evelyn Ward. He was 6 when Shirley and Jack married, and Shirley Jones and Jack Cassidy went on to have 3 children. Sean Cassidy, pop star from the 70s, Hardy Boys, Nancy Drew, to Do Run Run.
woof.
And oh, yeah, he could get it. Even
Sean
today,
Cassidy.
Sean Cassidy could get it. And honestly, Patrick Cassidy, his brother, Patrick Cassidy, more of a Broadway guy, didn't really have any pop stardom, but if you listen to the original cast album of Assassins, he is the original balladeer in the Stephen Sondheim musical from 1991. And at the time of David's death, I think he was he playing Beast in Beauty and the Beast in Jupiter, Florida, at one of the regional theaters down here. He's still working. He's still a leading man, great singer. And then their youngest brother, Ryan. Ryan does not have any front of house fame. He is apparently a set decorator.
Oh, so the gay one.
Oh, bless. And please forgive me, dear listeners, if at any point you have heard me refer to Shirley Jones in the past tense, because Shirley Jones is very much alive and very much well. She is 88 years old, and she is still fucking gorgeous. There was a storyline on the Drew Carey show. I'm not saying she's young. I'm not saying
the Drew Carey show was 30 years ago, David.
But be that as it may, there was a time
in
on
the
the
90s.
There was a time on the Drew Carey show when she played Drew Carey's older woman love interest. And, you know, even back then it was like, God damn, and you can tell she hasn't had anything done.
Are you high?
No,
David, her face is it's so full of filler. She's 88, which
Some
means
people
30 years.
age well, Matthew. Not many of them.
Shirley Jones is not one of them. David,
No.
I can spot plastic surgery at 1,000 paces. I was friends with Joan Rivers, for God's sake.
Well, you need to be 1,000 paces away. You could be in the next state.
Shirley Jones. I'm pulling up her eye. Oh, for the love, David. That is not the face of an 88-year-old woman.
No, because she's so youthful and gorgeous.
Okay, look at those fucking cheeks.
Matthew?
Those are not her cheeks, honey.
Well, here's the deal. If she was like a plastic surgery whore, why does she have wrinkles around her eyes? Why are her eyelids hooded? Why does she have skin around her neck?
Because she's 88, David. That is pre-surgery.
Absolutely.
Okay? If those lids had not had surgery, what would they look like at 88? Not what they look like in the next picture, where her eyes are much smaller, pulled back. She looks almost Asian in this picture.
Okay, if you say so. I don't have as good an eye.
Look at how pug her nose is in that black and white picture, and look at how not pug it is in the newer pictures.
Wow.
She looks like she had that nose thinned down a little bit. That ain't her chin.
Wow. Okay. Well, then I guess
it's not had any work done. A woman in Hollywood at 88 hasn't had work done, David.
It does exist. Elaine Stritch didn't have anything done.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, God. All right. Well, I guess I'll have to go on record saying that whatever work she's had done looks incredibly natural, because to me, she, like you say, she's 88. She looks 88. She doesn't look like a Joan Rivers 88, or, you know, the women who have the pulled back faces or the cosmetic surgery that's released. And come loose over time, like something's come untied. But okay, I will take your word for it. I have no way to Google it and verify it. So now, moving on, David Cassidy is Keith Partridge. He's about 23 here, playing like he's still in high school, I think. He's kind of doing a Michael J. Fox. Very sexy. I mean, the fact that people lost their shit over him and the sex appeal, yeah, it is totally there. I get it. You think his acting sounds like he's on Darvocet? Maybe I just wasn't listening because I'm looking at it going, damn, for a 23-year-old dude, like at the top of his game, at the top of his fame, a fucking recording star and a TV star. Yeah, I get it. My sister had okay, you know when you'd get the Tiger Beat magazine and they would have the
Yes.
poster that unfolds into fourths. So it is 4 times the size of a Tiger Beat.
Yes. And then you would cut the mouth out.
No,
And
different.
then you
No,
would-
no,
Nope,
my
what?
sister was 4. No, different.
Oh, no. I wasn't buying Tiger Beat when I was 4. Sorry.
You're playing something else, Beat.
By the time I was done with that David Cassidy poster, it looked like a Jackson Pollock painting.
And they did it 4 times in a row. And then if you flip them over, those 4 fit together to make a gigantic poster that was 16 times the size of an 8.5 by 11 magazine. My sister had it on her wall in her bedroom. And maybe that might be what made me gay. Possibly. Possible. Very, very possible.
What was that big giant picture of? Just his face?
Yeah, just his face. Yeah.
It wasn't of the Rolling Stone picture.
No, not the pube pic. No.
Oh, that would have been something worth collecting. All of the Tiger Beats that made up that poster. Now we're talking.
And of the many anecdotes in him talking about getting the role, he said that the thought process that went through his brain when they called him and said that he got the part of Keith Partridge, what went through his mind was, great, I can pay my rent next month.
Because it was going to be real difficult to bother your Oscar-winning mother and your Broadway star. Yeah.
Tony Award-winning dad. Yeah, exactly.
Jesus.
Susan Day plays Laurie Partridge. She also became a slightly lesser pop star. Very pretty. Got that perfect, really supernatural 1970s innocent look. And she also was on, the teen magazines, the Tiger Beats, and she would go on to do LA Law in the 1980s and be really respected as a more dramatic actress. And she is currently 69 years old and has worked as recently as 2014. Any other thoughts about Susan Day?
Like my grandma said, she must have had a gold one.
What?
She doesn't exactly pop out of the screen at you in this.
And the costuming ain't helping her either. We have so much to talk about with the costuming. Holy shit. Danny Bonaducci, what can I say? Troubled
Nothing.
kid, reality show, boxing and wrestling. He's a radio show host currently, I believe. And just he's the son of veteran TV writer and producer Joseph Bonaducci, who worked on the Dick Van Dyke Show and One Day at a Time and others. Chris and Tracy, the 2 youngest kids, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
They are completely extraneous. They serve no purpose. I'm not kidding, Matthew. When the school counselor said Danny's problem could be that he's the middle child, I momentarily said, no, he's not. Oh, wait a minute. That's right. There are 5 kids. Chris and Tracy are so... I mean, the writing is not doing them any favors, but when you're on the set and you're thinking, God, I wish I could get some fucking comedy gold written for me like that Bobby and Cindy over on the Brady Bunch set. I mean, it's just completely, they are the appendix of this show. You could do a re-release of the series and omit them altogether, and you would not know the fucking difference.
No.
And in the final credit, also starring Dave Madden as Reuben Kincaid.
Mm-hmm. And this was before he went on to football fame.
Yeah.
Don Madden.
Oh, yeah. You know your sports, Matthew. I got to give you that.
People don't understand what a ball freak I am.
Yeah. And of course, I'm a big fan of the paintings, the still lifes, the Reuben Kincaid galleries, the painter of light, as they called him. How interesting he would go on to that artistical career after managing the Partridge Family for all those years.
I have some of his jigsaw puzzles.
The ones with the Disney characters in it.
Mm-hmm.
How did I know that? I don't recall there ever being anything romantic between him and Shirley. It was a joke in the Saturday Night Live sketch, and the epilogue of this show, I did sit there and go, I don't think there was ever anything, but wow, what weird interaction they have at the end when he's holding up some type of a quilt thing that Shirley is cutting like the extra threads out of. It was something abnormally domestic. And then when Shirley goes up to look at the purchases that Lori bought, he just stays. And when Danny walks over to him, he's still futzing with this quilt. It's like, are you their music manager? What? This is a thing that, a single mother's boyfriend does. I didn't get that, but maybe I'm wrong. Listeners, if you know something and remember this better than I do, was there ever anything romantic between Shirley and Reuben? I don't believe there ever was. So
your guess is as good as mine.
Yep. And we lost Dave Madden, of course, in 2014 at the age of 82. And we also have some guest stars on this episode. I'll talk about them when we get to them.
It was 74, so he was probably a pussy hound looking at him. But by the looks of him, he was probably just laying him down. Bernie Capel, they probably had huge orgies.
He and Dick Van Patten and Bernie Capel, they were the pussy posse of the 70s, man. Lastly, I have to say, I loved and still do love the school bus. The Mondrian-inspired pattern, which I did not know that's what that was when I started.
I did.
Did you?
I did.
Wow.
Because I did a play a long time ago, David, called Take Her, She's Mine, where I played the father. And in it, to get his mind off the fact that his daughter has gone away to school, he's taking up different hobbies. And one of them was a painter. And I had to paint a Mondrian on stage.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's something I did not know about you.
My wife was played by the wonderful Dee Dee Codd.
Beauty school dropout herself. Yeah, but it's all the wonderful straight black lines, all the boxy squares with all the primary colors. I just love it. And it is the 70s, man. It really is. So, we ready to talk about this actual episode now that we've been talking for an hour about everything else?
Well, I think what we've talked about basically covers the Partridge Family in itself, don't you, David? I mean, as far as this episode goes, I doubt that it's any different than the things that we've discussed about the Partridge Family already. So this has been lovely. Right?
No, this has not been lovely. It hasn't been close to lovely. I have so much more to discuss.
Oh, geez.
We're going to talk about that fucking kitchen for 45 minutes. That's just the kitchen.
I had huge problems with the set.
Oh, yeah.
That's an interesting set.
It's
because and I was trying to think of another episode where they're in the kitchen and you can see down the hall into the dining room.
Mm-hmm.
And I was trying to think what other shows have the main set, but you see more of the house behind them.
And you could see the dining room from the living room as well. And the kitchen had the 1970s pass-through counter window and stuff. But it was kind of an early version of an open concept, wasn't it?
Well, Yeah, it was it was like it was almost like The Office in the fact that like it's like a one camera sitcom.
Mhm.
I don't know. I was so weirded out by how the set was
Well,
because it
I
was
was.
so small. It was so small.
Oh, really? How many steps?
That living room, like they take like two steps, and then in the kitchen, she takes Danny and what's her guts and goes, "Oh, come over here so they can be alone. And they take two steps. And I'm like, oh, much safer distance right there, Cheryl. All right.
Mhm.
Oh, good
Yep.
direction right there. That could have anyway. But so okay.
The
Yep,
kitchen,
that
though, with the yellow walls, the paneled wood cabinets, and the avocado green appliances. Oh, 70s tastic. And by 70s tastic, I mean fugly beyond expression. Oh, thankfully, I didn't grow up with the avocado green appliances. We had the Harvest Gold kitchen. That was
Oh,
our
no.
thing at my house.
Ours were green.
Oh, you had the avocado green?
Mm-hmm.
Shut up! You must have felt right at home.
The stove, the stove, and the fridge. And I remember my mother when she finally had to get a new fridge, because this is back when you would buy a fridge and they lasted 25 years
Goddamn right.
because they were a Maytag. But I remember when she finally had to get a new refrigerator, she was so pissed that
Green had been discontinued for 15
that-
years.
you can only find a gosh darn refrigerator in almond and white. Ah.
Hey, mama, welcome to the 80s. Oh.
And her being like, oh, it just shows the dirt.
God damn it.
First of all, when was anybody the last time anybody was visiting your house, mother? When was the last time you had Jackie O over? That's gonna be like, hey, this refrigerator is filthy. No, you've got other friends from Fort Wayne that look at that and go, that's classy. Anyway,
Let me attempt to go through specifics of the fashion. There's
Jesus.
so much to talk. I mean, I could do an entire hour-long podcast just about the fashion. Shirley's clothes, at the very least, they fit her well. They are flattering to her body. Shirley Jones she's 39 here, and she is gorgeous. And one thing that stood out to me in that very first outfit, red belt, navy blue pants. Red and navy blue, also found in the Mondrian art, by the way. That was such a popular color combo. You see it all over Mary Tyler Moore. Mary Tyler Moore constantly wearing solid red, solid navy blue. That just to me is the young part of my childhood. That is when I see that color combination, I am immediately 6 years old again. It's insanity. Lori has on a part gingham, part ruffledy maternity top in the first scene. It's like, okay, she is a teenaged girl. She's like 17 or 18 here. She probably weighs 85 pounds, and they've got her in this big old blousey top. It's ridiculous. And like I said, no one's ever in blue jeans. Keith at least has a short sleeve, like a polo, but it's got a zipper instead of the buttons. That was a very 70s thing.
Mm-hmm.
And later he's seen in a short sleeve horizontal knit shirt. Danny's got the horizontal stripes, which I've always referred to as Bobby Brady stripes, because that's what they always put the kids in the Brady Bunch in. So then the second day, when Shirley's got her appointment with the school psychologist, we haven't even talked about the plot of this yet. I'm sorry. Let's just we need to do the synopsis, everything. Matthew, would you please help us out and give us a loose synopsis of the show?
Oh my God. Danny's acting out at skill, and Shirley Jones has to take some interesting roads to fix it.
Mm-hmm. And may I add to that she has to see the school psychologist, played by whom, Matthew?
Oh my goodness, it's Charlotte Ray. It's Mrs. Garrett.
Mrs. Partridge. He's a boy acting up. I'm used to working with girls. Anyway.
And they could have had any other actress play that part.
You don't think that she was memorable in this role?
No. And she could have been. You hire Charlotte Rae at that time in her career, I would have thought we're getting some wacky like psychiatrist that pulls like pencils out of her hair. You know what I mean? like her desk was messy. That was a whole plot point. But like she was, I just wanted her to be like, have you heard about permissiveness? So I just wanted her to be a little again, pick up she took the Keith Partridge route. They gave her a Quaalude before she started. and there could have been any other actress playing that part. There was nowhere in the script did it say a Charlotte Rae type.
No, you're right. I think she is marvelously subdued here. I kind of like that about her performance, that she's not being, because we've talked about how many times when she goes wacky, it sometimes kind of goes a little too far. We do get the Charlotte Rae special.
Too broad for the Partridge family.
Too broad for the Partridge family. Goddamn right.
Let's take a watch. Let's take a clip of Shirley Jones playing the harpsichord at the end. Okay.
You bring up the thing about the messy desk. That's the only idiosyncratic or weird thing. And I guess it's because we need this character to bond with Shirley. We need this character not to be a Mrs. Partridge, this is the problem, and here is what you need to do to solve it. We needed to make sure the empathy was there and the warmth was there. And I think those are two wonderful traits that Charlotte Rae always brings to every performance. And the one kind of bonding moment that is off topic from the Danny problem of Danny needing too much attention and Danny being disruptive at school is she says, "Let me look at his file again." And there's a shot of her reaching underneath a pile of shit on her desk and whoop, pulls it out. And Shirley actually says to her, "Wow, I don't know how people do that. That's miraculous to me," or something to that effect. And Charlotte Rae says, well, it's mostly self-preservation. Keep your desk messy so no one can find anything. Makes me indispensable. As she does the futzing with her hair behind her ear, her sort of Mae West, "Oh, come up and see me" thing with the hair, with the making sure your hair is in place. That is a Charlotte Rae special. We see her pull that out of her bag of tricks so many times throughout her career. And that's the only time I feel like we get her bag of tricks. I mean, we get a little bit of the squinty eyes, we get the wrinkling of the nose, but I think particularly when she says there is a theory that middle children go through different stuff than other kids. And Shirley says, "Do you believe that theory?" And Charlotte says, "I steer away from theories and rules. I like to treat children as individuals." You don't think that she brought a little something to delivering a line like that, knowing that at this time, her older son, Andy, is having a terrible time at one of the facilities where she had to put him because he is so severely autistic, and I think later they discover schizophrenic. I mean, she's been struggling for over a decade with a special needs child herself. So I felt like maybe, I mean, again, I'm reading more into it probably than is there. She was also, I think, at the height of her alcoholism too. So who's to say that wasn't going on?
At the end of this, I remember thinking, oh, David's going to love this because it's just 100% Mrs. Garrett's superpower of doing what she does. How dare they, though? My thought was she could have two levels. She could be completely batshit and still bring it down and allow Shirley to be like, oh, I'm weirdly connected. Oh, this insane person is very, very smart. Like the fine line between insanity and genius. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So I would have liked to see more of that. Like her, like, I can't find a thing on this table, going through tables and be like, ah, here it is. Would have made me just as happy for her to be like, okay, here's this file, blah, blah, blah. I think he has middle child syndrome. But by saying that, she is giving in to a theory, David.
Mhm.
So for
Yes.
her to say, I don't follow theories, but the whole theory you just said was that he's a middle child syndrome.
No, but then she says that, but then after that, she does say, but there might be some validity to that. And here's how we can find out. And that's where she suggests the permissiveness. So I didn't have any problem with this scene. I was a little puzzled when we went to the final shot where Charlotte sees her out, that she was sitting behind her desk, and then we had a bunch of close-ups. We went back to the wide coverage shot. She was behind the desk with her legs crossed. And her skirt was coming up a little bit. And I'm like, why would you why would you say, I mean, she wasn't leaning back in a relaxed position. She was just sitting at the desk with her legs crossed. I was like, that's just so weird with her little stumpy legs that kind of don't really cross. Forgive me. But anyway, that was a little weird to me. But I agree with everything you've said, that they could have done a much more multi-layered and more comedically effective job with writing that scene. But you saw everything else on this show, right? You see the competency level of these writers on display.
Yes.
That won't gonna be happening.
Mm.
By the way, Charlotte Rae is 46 years old here.
Oh my goodness, David.
Mhm.
She's younger than you.
Yeah. Mhm.
Mm.
So then the day that Shirley has to go to meet with the doctor, the school psychologist, about Danny, initially we see Shirley in brown pants, a brown long sleeve dress shirt, and a mustard beige short sleeve sweater. And of
Ugh.
course, the collar way out over, and the collar is about 45 inches long. When we see her in Charlotte Rae's office, she's still wearing this, but she has added a plaid blazer with a white background. And the stripes and the zigzags of the plaid pattern are red and navy blue again, plus the beige gold that matches the short sleeve sweater. So, okay, I'll give it to you that there is a little color tie in here, but the background is white and the neutral of the outfit underneath is brown. It's like, what is going on here? And then later when she goes back to see Charlotte the second time, Shirley is wearing a white skirt, white below the waist, where previously we saw her in brown pants. She's wearing a white skirt, a white dress shirt, a red sweater, and a navy blue and white gingham jacket, and a red, white, and blue flower pin on the lapel.
What?
Well, you know, the question I'm going to ask next, and I've asked this on the Facts of Life, what season is this? You're in California. Why are you wearing brown pants one day and the next day you're wearing a fucking white skirt above the knee?
Oh, David, I just can't believe that of all the things with this episode, that is even on your top 100 list of what fucking season it is there. Oh, Jesus Christ, David.
Well, Lori at one point is wearing an over jacket like teenage girls would wear in the 70s, a blue over jacket with gigantic red buttons and massive pockets with flaps. Lori's outfit, it looks like a joke, comic cartoon version of what someone would modern day create as a hilarious exaggeration of an ugly 70s jacket. It's like, nope, this one's already there. And I may or may not have had one that looked like that. Shut up. Anyway.
It's obviously some sort of lovely summer day, isn't it? Because they do go out into the park and we have to watch David Cassidy I just, come on, PDA. All right.
Not sucking face with the girl, doing a fake makeout kissing.
But you're in the middle of the park. And every time it's like literally going right for it. And I was like, okay, awkward. Like, you're in the middle of the park, weirdo. That bothered me more than what season it was, David.
Oh, okay.
That
Wow.
bothered me more than what season it was.
Well, okay. You see, that didn't bother me because I'm just like, well, they're kind of, yeah, they're out in the open, but it's not like they're right next to people. It's not like they're in an elevator. And I loved that that was going to be a plot point to make Danny, with all the permissiveness and all the things they allow Danny to do to act like an adult and tag along with the older kids. It was like, yeah, you can already tell Danny is not the kind of kid who's going to be intrigued with, you know, all that lovey-dovey kissy stuff. So I was like, oh yeah, Keith, this is what you do, buddy. Get them lips working and we'll get this kid fixed up and back to his old self. Because who doesn't love a great big problem like an unruly, disruptive child in school that can't be solved in 25 minutes? You know, who doesn't love it?
Yeah.
Yep. I don't know if I'm skimming my notes to find any other fashion things. Did you like the fact that Danny poured milk from the carton and left the carton on the counter? Did you notice that?
Notice that. Notice that.
Yeah.
Notice the prop work.
Yeah, we just had our rant about the juice and the milk in the separate pitcher brought out to the dining room and sitting out in the open for 4 hours.
At least it was in a milk carton.
True. That's what I thought.
Oh, because, you know, Shirley ain't got nothing else to do, apparently.
Nope.
She's got to trim the quilt later. But
Yeah. Hey, Ruben, want to come over later? Help me trim my quilt?
my quilts are getting a little fuzzy over here, Ruben.
Oh, you were great last night. My quilt is all frayed around the edges, if you know what I'm talking about.
Okay, too far.
What?
Too far.
Oh, no. Oh, wow.
Seriously, there's the line of good taste, David. And I know my toe has been on that line.
Yeah, about a mile behind you. The boy that plays Laurie's date, that Danny kind of takes over because he's into baseball cards and Laurie is angry. Now, there was part of the performance from Laurie where I was like, ooh, Laurie trying to play, ooh, I'm not saying words. I'm just having to play that I'm mad at Danny face. That was a little cringe. Yeah. But
I'm like so angry, you guys, right now. I'm like angry the most, you guys.
But the actor who plays Richard, Laurie's date, is Bruce Kimmel. Bruce Kimmel would go on to be a big-time producer of Broadway cast albums, including one of the Hello Dolly cast albums.
30th anniversary.
Is that him? Did he produce that? Yeah. But yeah, more of a Broadway thing. He wrote and co-directed and played a role in what is considered, I believe, a cult movie from 1976 called The First Nudie Musical. This is about a porn studio that's about to go under, so they decide to make a musical. And there are also musical songs within it. It's not just songs from the thing. Anyway, it's available, Matthew, on Freevee. And I will tell you, from 1976, I was very surprised. You see 2 penises in it. You see 147 snatches, but it's like, you know, it's that thing of this. I'm like, okay, this is a movie from the 70s. There's going to be no dicks in here. It's going to be all boobs. And I was pleasantly surprised. I was like, wow, that's 2 dicks more than I thought I would catch in it. And I didn't watch it with a great amount of interest or attention. I had it kind of going in the background, but it's there on Freevee. And yeah, it's pretty awful. You can see how it was a cult movie. Cindy Williams is in it right at the time she was starting on Laverne and Shirley.
No, thank you.
No, she's not naked in it. No, she's not naked. But
no, thank you.
Anyway, that's him. The girls that play the girlfriends, not really anybody super famous. Danny's date, her name is Patty Cahoon, Cohoon, as Gloria. She would go on to do some other roles and some soaps and all that type of thing. But the more interesting actor, Maggie Wellman, who plays Molly, the girl that Keith is sucking face with, she is the daughter of veteran film director William Wellman. William Wellman is the one who wrote and directed the Janet Gaynor A Star Is Born.
Well, I wondered how she got the part.
But yeah, no, he won, and that won the first, and another one of his movies was the first winner for Best Picture at the Academy Awards. And he won the Oscar for directing A Star Is Born. And because the story was originally his, I think he had some other screenwriters write it. But when you see any other iteration of it, when you see the Judy Garland, the Barbra Streisand, the Lady Gaga, all of them credit from the story by William Wellman, which is kind of bizarre. So this is his daughter. She's 21 here. I wondered why they weren't really kissing, why we never actually saw their lips. They just did the face on, turning the head. So you see the back of the hair and they think it looks real when it clearly doesn't. I was like, well, is maybe she underage? Did they get a real 16 or 17-year-old girl? Like that ever stopped anybody in the 70s? Yeah. But no, she is of age. And girl, you're on set with David fucking Cassidy?
Yeah, my tongue would have been down his throat.
Hells yeah. I'd have been like, no, I'm not feeling director. I really think for my character and for the realism, the Stanislavski method of doing it for real kind of would need to apply here.
I would have been like, I am a method actress, David Cassidy. So I want you to put your tongue down my throat and your finger in my crack. We're in a public park making out. Make it real.
Yeah. Just like you would do if this were real life. Yep.
We're clearly into people watching, so have at it.
Anyway, suffice it to say, through the course of the plot of this, Danny becomes more of a pain in the ass than he already is in every episode. And then he eventually realizes that being an adult is not all it's cracked up to be. Speaking of cracks, Matthew. So then he decides he, quote unquote, wants to go back to being a kid. And later in the epilogue, we learn that things are better in school. He's talking less and being less disruptive. And Shirley says, but he's talking more at home. So, But before we get the epilogue, after we get the resolution of the plot, Matthew, we need not forget that the Partridge Family is, at its very core, a musical sensation.
Yes.
So we get to see them perform.
Yes.
So the music portion, sometimes they'll have rehearsals of the songs be integrated into the plot. Like you'll see them in the garage and they'll sing, 3/5 or 4/5 of a song. And then there'll be a knock on the garage door and they'll stop and they'll be like, okay, that was enough. We just gave them a taste of it. Well, with this completely separate from the action of the show, they sing on a black sound stage with some show lights behind them. And then later some canned applause. So allegedly, this is a live performance of some sort. They sing the hit song, Am I Losing You? And some of the lyrics do kind of apply to the show. And a couple times Keith and Shirley have glances back and forth with Danny that do a little bit punctuate that, okay, this song is being performed in this show, maybe with some intent behind it. But this is where we see the handheld camera work. This is where we see truly the electric stage presence of David Cassidy. And I'm not being facetious when I say that. I mean, when he's singing, he really is. He just lights up, really and truly. He is a great performer. You get why he got famous. Everybody else, though, trying to watch Tracy beat on that tambourine, Chris faking the drums, and Danny playing the damn
and 2 harpsichords.
I think, yeah, that's a little weird. The song "Am I Losing You" is from their 6th album, the Partridge Family Shopping Bag, and it was written the Partridge Family Shopping Bag.
It sounded like you said the Partridge Family.
Oh, maybe I did. I'll have to listen.
The Partridge Family.
You are a child.
Oh, I'm writing that. Oh.
That's our next Fringe show. It was written by Irwin Levine and L. Russell Brown, who also wrote the Partridge Family hit, I Woke Up in Love This Morning. And then they would go on to write for Tony Orlando and Dawn. knock 3 times, and tie a yellow ribbon. Literally their 2 biggest hits. So they got some big hits under their belt.
He had a style.
Yeah, true. He had his moments. He had his style. And while they're singing in concert, of course, they're in their performance dress. More fashion. Seafoam green matching polyester tops with a Southwest pattern. I did not think it could get uglier and that all those words could ever be uttered in the same description of an article of clothing, and yet here we are. And then we talked about the epilogue with Ruben and the quilt and the sort of wrapping it up, where now suddenly Gloria, Danny's friend who's a girl, is going to do girl stuff with the girls, and Danny's now left out in the cold. And last word from Ruben: old or young, kid, never try to figure out women. Ha ha!
Can I please say then, the thing that I picked up on right from the moment it started, and then it drove me nuts for the rest of the show. David, as we just said, you can't figure out a woman. Ha ha! There was no need for a ha ha, because the laugh track on this show rivals the Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
Every other line gets a laugh track. And there were times when it was just conversation and you could hear they threw in like a one person going,
yeah. Oh, yeah, it is heavily. And Brady Bunch did that too. People forget that Brady Bunch had a terrible laugh track also. I think it was a different production company, so it was a different sounding audience. But
it was the ABC production company, David. It was Paramount, wasn't that? Paramount was the Brady's. But anyway, point of the story is, all I could hear was that goddamn laugh track, how inappropriate it was. It wasn't even like the Big Bang Theory, like where it's uproarious laughter. It was like 10 people going,
yeah, they've got those subtler laughs to make sure that they're not just these isolated bursts. And you're like, who the fuck's job? I mean, it was someone's job, like the sound editor, I guess,
to do it every other line.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna give it we're gonna give it a number 2, a 2 laugh here. This joke, that's a 10. We're gonna give it the 10 laugh, and this is a callback.
They were like, well, Keith's on Quaaludes, so let's make it sound like the audience is too, so they're all on the same level. It took me out. So that's all I have to say about the Partridge Family.
I cannot, but I feel so honored to have popped your Partridge cherry with this. And have you watched any others? Are you inspired now?
No, not a one.
There are some. There's one. Rob Reiner's a guest on one. You see some, people before they were famous.
Nope, don't care.
Yeah. Wow.
Just for the pure performance of Charlotte Rae and Shirley Jones, I give it 1 talkaholic chip. I give it 1.
Only 1 out of 5?
Out of 5.
Oh my God. My talkaholic, I genuinely had not thought of what would my talkaholic chip rating be. I think I will give this from 6-year-old David would give this 16 out of 5. But yeah, I'm gonna give it 3. I will give it 3. If I'm hemming and hawing whether it's only 2.5. And those avocado green appliance 2.5 talkaholic chips out of 5.
But 3 is fair. I mean, you're coming at it with a nostalgia as well that I am not coming at it with. So
yeah. And the fact that I actually lived in a time where I remember people dressing like that. My mother had a plaid blazer. It was different color scheme, but she had this bizarre plaid blazer that I've seen in pictures lately. And I'm like, what fucking was that? Oh, it was 1974. There we go.
No, thank you.
Yeah. Wow. All right. Well, Tutti Fruities, we want to thank you as always for supporting the show, for supporting this, for supporting us, and let's face the facts. And we, as always, we always do this kind of flying by the seat of our pants. We have no idea what we're going to do next month. Your guess is as good as ours. Your suggestion may be as good as used. If you want to suggest something,
Let's find something good. Let's find something that we like for the next time. I don't want to tear shit apart for 2 hours.
well,
You know
I
what I
mean,
mean?
I did. I'm aware that the last 90 minutes have me been tearing this to shreds, and this is something I fucking love. But no, I agree with you. Let's find something. Yeah, we need to find some more High School USA kind of stuff where we're just, something with a good Crispin Glover performance in it. So that's another TV Talkaholics on the books, kids. We hope you enjoyed it half as much as we enjoyed recording this for you.
Eh,
Hey.
enjoyed is a strong word, David.
Yeah. Well,
What words are you going to part me with?
we're going to leave you with these parting words for all of our Patreon supporters. Membership has its privileges, and you get what you pay for. Bye.
David, I think I love you. So what am I so afraid of? This love there is no cure for.
We'll make you happy.
No, more about gel coat.
When the fourth
Don't you call in the